ఓకే. ఓకే. హ్మ్. ఓకే. 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 హ్మ్. రెజ్యూమే ప్రిపరేషన్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు కదా మాట్లాడేది. ఓకే. హ్మ్. సరే. సరే. సో వాళ్ళు ముగ్గురితో ఫాలో అప్ చేయండి. ఫాలో అప్ చేస్తే వాళ్ళు మీకు హెల్ప్ చేస్తారు. హ్మ్. యాహ్! యాహ్! ఒకసారి మాట్లాడుతాను. వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడితే వాళ్ళు చెప్తారు. నేను ఇంకొకసారి వేరే అతను ఉన్నాడు రామ్ అని, తను కూడా టెక్సాస్‌లో ఉంటాడన్నమాట. తనతో మాట్లాడి తన నెంబర్ కూడా ఇస్తాను. ఒకసారి తనతో మాట్లాడి, తనకి గ్రీన్ కార్డ్ ఉంది యాక్చువల్‌గా. తను అక్కడ సిటిజన్ అనుకుంటాను. ఒకసారి నేను మాట్లాడతాను. మాట్లాడి మీ నెంబర్ ఇస్తాను. యాహ్! సరే. సరే. నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ ఏంటండి? టేబుల్స్ కంప్లీటెడ్. సరే ఇట్లా ఆ 6 ఆన్ చేయి ఇక్కడ. ఇక్కడ. దీనికి బటన్ ఉందా? ఆన్ చేయి. Yesterday class we completed tables, right? Today we'll start the form tags. So you know the login form, registration form, the form details, right? Why the forms require login form, registration form? You have the forms, right? Login form, registration form, right? Why we need the forms? Forms in the forms in the book. Registration form, registration form. Why we need the forms? Hmm? Particular? Yeah. The question is like we created the form, right? What the form tell me here? Login.html we created, login.html we will create, and registration.html created, product.html we created, product details to enter, and book.html to collect the book details. Actually, good. See why we need the forms means like forms are used to collect the data. So you login form is collecting what username password, right? Login form is collecting what? Username and the password. Registration form is collecting what? Username, password, date of birth, gender, and qualification details. These are the details, right? Forms are used to collect the data. So use it to what? Collect the data. Just collect as data. Just collect the data. So after collecting the data, so you enter the registration form. You enter the registration details. Forms are used to collect the data. After collecting the data can be read in the two places. So you enter the form, right? After entering the form data will be the form data what? The form data will be read in what? Reading in two places. Reading two places. What are two places, sir? One is once if you enter the form details are read by JavaScript. Who will read the form details based here? JavaScript. First, JavaScript will read the form data. Checking like JavaScript will read the form data. Check that the details are correct or not. It means you enter the age is like below 100 or not. You will check the manufacture date is less than expiry date or not. So once if you read the form, like form will collect the data. After collecting the data will be submitted in like how many places here? Two places. One is JavaScript can read the form data. See why the JavaScript is read the form data means check the validations. Check that your form is correct or not. Like form validations we can do using what JavaScript. See once the form validations are correct, like form is successfully entered the proper data here. Then the data should be submitted to what server. The data should be submitted to what server, right? See, forms are used to collect the data. After collecting, the data will be sent to how many places? Two places. One is what JavaScript. JavaScript will read the form data. JavaScript to what? Read the form data. Check the form data is like valid or not. Validations in that form. Once the validations are success, assume that the validations are failed. So JavaScript is reading your form data, checking that the data is what valid or not. If the validations are failed, then validations are failed is then what happened? Tell me here. If the validations are failed, you will get error message, right? You will get error message saying that the password should have the @ symbol, the password, the Gmail have the .com. Like that, they have some validations. See, all validations are passed. It means all validations are what success. If all validations are success, then the form data submitted to what server. So form data submitted to what server. And once if you take the server, server will what? Process the data, right? Processing logics. It means like it will store the data into the database, or it will checking the you are the major or minor. Like main business logic is done at what side? Server side. So forms are collect the data. After collecting the data will be submitted to how many places? Two places. JavaScript is submitted. So JavaScript will what? Check the your data is valid or invalid. Once the validations are passed, then the data submitted to what server. Then server will do like main business logic. Server will do what? Main business logic, right? Good. See guys, you want to send the email to the corresponding customer. So you want to send the email to the customer. Then customer is entered the email ID. Customer is entered what? Customer email ID he entered. So JavaScript will read this email and JavaScript is checking that the email should have the @ symbol or not. The email have what? @ symbol or not. See what the JS will do, JavaScript will do. JavaScript will read this email, checking that email contains what symbol, @ symbol or not. And if @ symbol is there, it contains a valid domain name or not. Assume that gmail.com, yahoo.com, like specific, valid domain should be there. See, for example, we have @ symbol, but we have the name is like abc.com. Then that is valid domain or invalid domain? Invalid domain, right? So JavaScript role is what? JavaScript will read this form data, checking that form data is valid or not. So it contains @ symbol or not? Yes, it contains @ symbol, and it is valid domain like gmail.com. Gmail.com is also what? Valid domain, right? Gmail.com is what? Valid domain. That is JavaScript will do. Once the JavaScript is checking the valid domain name and @ symbol, then the email is sent to what about server side. What the server will do? Server will send the mail to what? Corresponding the target person, right? The server what it will do? Server will send the mail. So JavaScript is checking the that email contains @ symbol or not and valid domain name or not. If everything is valid, the data submitted to what? Server. What the server will do? Send the mail to the corresponding customer, right? Send the email to what? Corresponding customer. Hey, you tell me like that one example. One example you tell me. Customer email is collect the data. Forms are collecting the data. After collecting, JavaScript will read the data. JavaScript is checking what the domain name. Like that you tell me one example. Like that you tell me one example. What the data you will enter. What JavaScript will do. What the server will do. What JavaScript will do. What the server will do. Customer is entered the email ID, that is entering the form data entered. Then JavaScript is doing the domain name and the @ symbol. If everything is correct, the data submitted to what? Server. Server will send the actual mail to the customer. Actual what? Mail to the customer, right? Exactly. Next one, tell me here. Assume that you enter the account details. First, JavaScript will read that account details. JavaScript will check the account number is 12 digits or not, and IFSC code proper format or not. Proper format or not. The JavaScript will check the account number is 12 digits or not, IFSC code is present or not. Once the JavaScript validates success, what the server will do? Send the amount to the target person, right? Send the amount to what? Amount to target person. Well, like that we have the JavaScript and server interactions. JavaScript and what? Server interaction. See guys, you enter the mobile number. So enter the mobile number means what? You enter some digits. What JavaScript will do? Tell me. JavaScript will check the mobile number is 10 digits or not, and it will check valid country code is present or not. +9 1 +2 something like that. Valid country code is present or not, which contains 10 digits or not, and valid country code is present or not. Once if it is done, what the server will do? Server will send the message to the target person, right? Server will send what? Target person. So that is called form test. So what the purpose of the forms? Forms are used to collect the data. After collecting, the data will be sent to how many places? Two. One is JavaScript. First, who will read JavaScript will read it, server will read it. JavaScript will read, checking that the data is valid format or not. If it is valid format, then it is sending the data to what? Server. Server will do the main business logic. The server will do what? Main business logic, right? Exactly. So guys, I want to create the login form. To create a login form, what details we put? Login form means what details we put? We enter the username. After username, we require some text box, right, to enter the username. So username required, corresponding text box required. Next one is what? Password. Password required, and what we can say? Password required, corresponding what? Text box required. Password and what? Text box required. Good. And last one is what button here? Login button required. Login button, right? That is called login form you are going to implement. So this is called username, text box, password, some text box required. What button required over here? Login button required, right? Exactly. Guys, let me write the file here. The root tag for the HTML is what? What the root tag here? The root tag is what? HTML, right? HTML is the root tag. Yeah. HTML is the root tag. Root tag. HTML is the root tag. HTML opening and what? HTML is closing. So guys, I don't want to write this on the data once. Do one thing. Yeah. Let me open online compiler to do the work. It's better for me. Go for the font increment. Bold is there. Even like text increment, something like that. HTML. Guys, let me create the form tag. Form to create, use the form tag. Just you can just write the form tag, opening and closing automatically will come. This is the form tag, is it? Form tag, what the first one we should have? What the first one is username. See, this is called username as constant text. To take the constant text, we use the tag label tag is there. What the tag label tag. Label tag just enter the username. Enter the username is the label tag is coming. After that, what text box required. Text box means you can take the tag is input tag. Input type equal to what type of data we are going to enter? Text data, right? With that we are going to enter the text data. Right side we can see the form data here. Yeah. See guys, we got some username is there and corresponding what text box is there. You do one thing, just create the H1 tag for the representing the login form. Go for the login form like this, right? Yeah, we got the login form. This is called username and corresponding text box. We enter the text box, details are showing like that, no? Good. So enter the username, input type equal what? Text, right? Got it. So you guys can please write the one more time the same thing. You can write the copy paste here. Good. So username and what? User password. So you guys user password is there. I think both are coming in the same line here. We can write the PR tag here. The break tag is coming. Then after the label also you can take the PR tag. Just you can take the PR tag. Then you can take the PR tag here. Take the PR tag now. Good. Because after label also let me take the BR tag. So the data is coming as what? Next slide, right? Good. Username corresponding data we should enter and password corresponding data we should enter. So guys, when I enter the username, you enter the details of what? Username. Yeah. Enter the username something like Ratan. And password also I'm going to enter like Ratan at the rate 123. But password I think it is showing the password, right? But you want to show the password or you don't want to show the password. We are seeing like password is what the stars, right? That's what guys input type equal to what the text or password is required. Password is required. Input type equal password guys. Once if you type the type is password here, you enter the username is like Ratan is normally entering here. The password is what? Ratan at the rate 123. Then password is showing or not showing? Not showing, right? That is called input base. Input type equal what? The text. Type equal text means what? Text is showing. Type equal password is what? Password is showing or not showing? Not showing, right? That's it, I guess. Yeah. But that's it, guys. That is called form tag. So take the main tag is a form tag. Under the form tag, this is called what? Label tag. Then input type equal what? Text. Then you can take the username. Input type equal what? Password. Right? Good. See, guys, I told this form is used to collect the data. After collecting the data, this data submitted to how many places? Two places. One is what? JavaScript. One is what? Server. See, JavaScript will read the data. Who will read the data now? JavaScript will read the data. See, the JavaScript will read this username, guys, using one attribute like ID attribute. ID equal to username you can take. See, this is called text box. Text box contains what? The data. The data should be read by what? JavaScript. The JavaScript will read the this text box data using this name, guys. ID attribute name. What ID attribute name we taken here? Username, right? So using this username attribute, JavaScript will read the data. Who will read the data? JavaScript will read the data. Otherwise, if you type the ABC, using this ABC, JavaScript will read this username. Who will read the data? Guys, JavaScript. Using what attribute name here? ID attribute name. Because let me take the proper name username. After JavaScript, who has to read the data? Server has to read the data, right? Server will read the data using name attribute. Server will read the data using what? Name attribute. So name attribute also just like server will take the data like name attribute. Here also I'm going to take what? Username, right? Exactly. See guys, here you write the ABC and here you write the like XYZ. Then JavaScript will read the data based on what attribute? ABC data, right? Like ABC attribute name. And server will read the data based on what XYZ using what the name attribute, right? So JavaScript will read the data using what the ID attribute name. Server will read the data based on what attribute name? Name attribute, right? That's the two attributes we have. That is what two attributes. Input tag contains type equal what to text. Type equal text means what we can enter the text data. ID equal what to username. Username is what who can read the data here? JavaScript. Name equal to username is who read the data here? Server will read the data, right? Exactly. Good. Yes, let me create one button for this one here. Just you can write the button. So first login form is the username and password. Create the button using button tag. Button opening and button closing. Just you can go for what login. Can you see that login button is coming here? Just you can copy the break. But go for the break here. Now the login button is coming now. So this is called like see, this is like H2 tag, H1 tag, you write the heading part. This is called what tag? Username is a constant text. You are going for the tag is what? Label tag, right? What tag? Label tag. Next one is what? Text box. And this is also what tag? Label tag. This is also text box. This is called what tag? Button tag, right? Yeah, button is like, what the button you take in is login button. What the button, login button, right? Exactly. Guys, password also you can make the ID attribute. Using ID attribute, who will read the data? No? Using ID attribute, who will read the data means JavaScript, right? Just you can write the password here. And using name attribute, who will read the data here? Server will read the data, right? Exactly. Good. Yes, next one more attribute like placeholder attribute is there. What attribute am I? Placeholder. You take the placeholder attribute. In the placeholder attribute, if you take and just you can give the message like enter the what username. Placeholder attribute. If you write the enter the username, guys, then you see the message one. This is called what placeholder attribute. Can you see the text box, right? In the text box, what the message you got here? Enter the username, right? Enter what username. This is called like hint text. Placeholder attribute. Yes. So placeholder means that the message displayed under the text box, so that easily we can understand that okay, here we should enter what username, right? So this is called what attribute? Placeholder attribute. Attribute placeholder. Even for the password also you can write the placeholder attribute. Just you can write the placeholder attribute. In the placeholder attribute, enter password, right? Yeah, enter what password. Just like that, you can see the text box data is like enter the password. So this enter the username and enter the password, right? Exactly. So these are the attributes, guys. Type equal text attribute. Text means we can enter the text data. ID means who can read the data. JavaScript. Name means who can read the data here. Server. And so yes, input type equal text and ID equal to username. Name equal to username and placeholder attribute. This is a placeholder attribute, right? Exactly. Yes, one more attribute like you can write the min length attribute. What am I? Min length attribute. Min length equal to just you can make it the 3. It means what minimum you should enter the how many characters guys here? 3 characters. Just you can write the max length here. Max length attribute here. Max length equal to just let me take the 8 characters. So min length how much guys here? 3. Max length how much here? 8. See guys, enter the username. I enter like only 2 characters. Only what? 2 characters. Click on like login button. Once if you click on the login button, guys, you see the message here. I click on the login button. Please, let me guess what is saying here. Please length should be the how many characters? 3. Because you specified how many characters? 3 characters, right? Exactly. Please length of these characters should be the 5 characters, like 3 characters. See, you enter the like max length. How much you giving? 8, right? After 8, you cannot enter the data also. See, it allows only 8 characters. So it allows only how many characters? 8. After 8, you cannot enter the data. If you enter also, the characters are not displayed there. How many characters allowed? 8 characters, right? Exactly. So input type equal text means text data. ID means who can read the data. JavaScript. Name means who can read the data. Server. Placeholder is hint text. Min length is there. Max length is there. Min length and what? Max length, right? Got that. Guys, that is the data here. After that, you see, I want to go for the required attribute. Attribute name of required. If you go for the required attribute, this required attribute does not contain the value. Required means what it is saying that username is what mandatory, right? Username is what mandatory. You do one thing, you come to the file, you can don't enter the username. Click on what button? Login button. It's saying what? Please enter the please enter the username, right? So please enter what? Please enter the username. Please fill this field, guys. Please fill out this field. See, if you didn't write the required attribute names, you didn't get that message. You click on that message. Any data is coming there? Any data is coming? No, right? Exactly. Guys, like that, we can go for the better to write the what I come here. What attribute here? Required attribute is better, right? Good. Just go for the required attribute. So then if you click on it is asking like please enter the please enter your data, right? Please fill out this field, you got the message. Please fill out this field. But these are the attributes of input tag. Attributes of what tag? Input tag, right? Type attribute is there, ID attribute is there, name attribute is there, placeholder, min length, max length, required. We got it right. That is called login form we entered. So same attribute you can get for the password also. So input type equal password, input ID like this. So guys, in real time, you will write the properties like this. Attributes. So in real time, write the attributes like one by one. Don't write in single line. So input type equal text, ID equal username, name equal username, placeholder, min length, max length. Like attribute by attribute, you write the line by line. Yes, sir. Generally, the students will write the code in what? One line, right? They'll write the code in what? One line. But real time will not write one line. You guys also don't write in one line. You try to write the attributes like line by line format. What formatter? Line by line format, right? Exactly. Good. This next one you can see one small attribute. Label contains the fur attribute. Attribute name is fur. Fur is like user. What is fur attribute we will do, just you can see without fur attribute, just you can check the data, guys. And see this label is separate. That label is what? Separate. And this username is text box is separate. It means this label is separate and whatever username is separate. Both are separate fields, right? Now you see when I click on the username box, then only that box is coming as a bold, right? It means that box is highlighted, right? Right, box is what? Highlighted. When we click on the button, then only box is what? Highlighted, right? Good. If I click on the username, box is highlighted or not highlighted? Not highlighted. It means we should understand that label is separate and the text box is coming as separate. The label is separate and what? Text box is separate. What we will do here, input tag contains ID attribute, right? What ID attribute name here? Username. That ID attribute we can give the fur attribute name for the the label tag. Once if we make the label fur equal to what? Username. Well, label fur equal to what? Username. Now you see the observation here. If you click here, no problem. That is like highlighted text box. Highlighted or not highlighted? Highlighted. When you click on the text box highlighted. Now if you observe this username, label tag and input tag both are mapped. Both are mapped using what tag? Fur attribute. Using what attribute? Fur attribute. Using fur attribute means you are representing this label is belongs to this input text. Label is belongs to what? Input text. Now what is the advantage like here? If you click on this username, see I clicked on this username. When you click on that username, this is highlighted, right? We highlighted or not highlighted? It means we have the link between the label and the text box, right? Label and what text box. See guys, most of the people will write the code label that just like that. Enough. They'll write like that. They'll write like that means what? There is no like what I can say mapping. There is no relation between this text box and whatever this label tag, right? Good. Now if I click on the username, this one is highlighting or not highlighting? Not highlighting, right? Good. That's what best you make the relationship between what? Label and the text box using what attribute here? Fur attribute. Fur equal to just you can make the ID attribute. What ID attribute name here? Username, right? Exactly. Guys, now if you make that, now if you click on the username, the corresponding related text box. What the related text box? This one, right? This one is automatically highlighted. Now you see, it is highlighted, not highlighted. When I clicked on text box, I clicked on just username. If I click on the username, the corresponding related text box will be highlighted. Related what? Text box is highlighted, right? Exactly. Guys, that is called label tag. Just you can take the label fur equal to, tell me guys, fur equal to what? Just you can write the password. Then if you do like that, now you see the code here. See, when you click on the text box is highlighted. But now I'm clicking on the text box, I'm clicking on the label tag. Label tag. If you click on the label tag here, you click on one label tag. Tell me guys, this highlighting or not highlighting? Not highlighting. Why? I think we written the ID attribute is what? Password. Password you written the P is what? Small. But here we written the P is what? Capital. We make it as P is what? Small, right? Good. Now you can come to the file. Just you can remove this one. Now you can see click on outside. Now this box is not highlighted. You click on what? Here, then the box is highlighted. So then it is making the relationship between what? Tell me a relationship between what? Label and bottom text box, right? Good. Hey, what the purpose of the forms? Forms are used to collect the forms are used to collect the data, user data. The data can be sending to another places here. One is the JavaScript will read the data for the validation purpose. Next one, server will read the data for what purpose? Business logic purpose, right? What logic, ma? Business logic. Okay, that's it, guys. Hey, write a login form in the notebook. Login form last time. So take the form using what tag? Form tag. Form opening and form closing are assigned. Form opening and form closing for the form tag. this. You write the attribute straight line like this. You don't write attribute line straight, same line. Input type equal text, ID equal to username, name equal to username, placeholder, min length, max length, and required. You write the heading, you start with HTML tag onwards. You don't write the copywriting of this code. Code మొత్తం రాయండి. Password also write all the properties. Password input type equal password. ID, name, placeholder, min length, max length required. Mathura say. Take the button. Login button. Complete. Complete, right? Login. You can please write a product form, right? So you take the form tag as usual, and the form tag opening and form tag closing. Form tag contains what H1 tag you can write. It is called product form. The product contains what are the details tell me? Product details. Product ID, fine. Just you can take what the tag is label tag. The label tag is what? Product ID. And product ID is there. ID means what text box you can take. How to take the text box here? Input type equal to. Tell me guys. What the type you will enter? Product ID. Product ID is what type? Text. Yeah, text means you can enter the text data guys. Let me write the number better. I'm going to write what? Number. Number means what? We can enter the number details actually. We can enter what? Number details. As you know, the ID attribute, right? ID means who will read the data. JavaScript will read the data. Second one is what? Name. Name means who is read the data. Server will read the data. Placeholder means what? Just enter the ID, right? Enter ID. And this is called what required attribute means you can take the required attribute. Like that, you can write the data like the type equal number. Then you can write the product ID. ID is nothing but what? Product ID. Next one is what? Name. Name is nothing but product ID. Placeholder is there, and required attribute is what? Required attribute is correct. Good. Okay, these are the details we enter the data. And to provide a mapping between the text box and the label that we take in what I call for attribute. For equal to just you can write what? Product ID, right? Exactly. If I click on this one, this would be highlighted, right? That is what highlighted, right? Exactly. Okay, that is like product ID. Any other details? Product name. Just take the product name. You can take the label tag. Tell me guys, label tag is there. Yeah, just you can write the label tag. Label tag is what is a product name. Product name is there. Just you can write the for attribute name. Just you can have the for equal to. Tell me guys. Product what you can say here. Name. Product name is there. Next one is what? Input what? Type equal to text. Okay. Input type equal text. Good. Next one is what? ID equal to just you can write the product name. Next one is what? Name equal to just you can write the product name. Okay. Placeholder equal to enter product name, like enter product name like this. Fine. Yes, next one is what? Like that you can close the data. It's fine. And you can write the break statement for this one. Just you can have the BR tag. Yeah, this one is like BR tag. The control is going for the next line, like the product break. But product ID and what? Product name. Next one is what? ID, name, price. Okay, fine. Just let me copy paste this data here one more time. Let me copy this data. Let me paste the data. This is like what? Product price. Okay, fine. Just let me put the break symbol here, break, and here break, and here this is called what? Product price. Okay, fine. Product price, just you can take the pro price, something like that, and the same ID can take the ID attribute, name attribute, enter the what product price. Okay. Input type equal what is your? We can take the input type equal what? Number, right? Because we enter the number data price means we can enter the number data. Okay. The next one is like product quantity I want to enter. Just let me have the break here. Break and the break like this, and we have the product. Next one is what is after price. You can take the quantity. The product quantity means just you can enter the product. What you can say here quantity. Product quantity. Just you can take the product. Quantity something like that. The same name you can copy for the ID attribute and same name you can copy for the name attribute. Enter the product what we can say here quantity, right? Exactly. Guys, let me write one more field like product brand also. I'm going to add the brand property here. Product what you can say guys here brand. Product brand is this, and you can write the quantity brand. Just you can write the for attribute is what product brand. The same name we can give the data to like a product brand is what type of data here? Text data. Then you can take the ID attribute, name attribute, product. What you can say here brand, right? Exactly. Here's one more last attribute that we take the product made in India, something like that, right? Product made in something like product what you can say is here made in like this. I think this is called product product what made in something like that. Yeah, just you can copy this one ID attribute you can take and what name attribute you can take and enter the product. Tell me guys, product made in, right? Yeah, product made in. But like that we have the details guys. You have all one button at last. You can take the button. This is like what save product, something like this. Save what product, right? Yeah, we have the button like this. Guys, just you can have the data like this. You can check the screen once. See guys, these are the details we entered. So product ID we entered. See guys, what button you clicked on, this button you click that is highlighted by default. This also clicked or highlighted because what we are mapping the relationship, right? Using what attribute? Per attribute. Just you can have the relation, we have the relation, we have the relation like that. That's like save product, we have the data, right? Good. See guys, in real time, product IDs we will not give generally. Product ID we will give one by one. Product ID automatically generated, right? Because we have the 1 lakh products, we cannot give like 55,500 something like that. Actually, good. See guys, as of now, I want to give some default value. I want to give what default value. Go for the product, the product what ID. Let me give the default value as of now. See guys, to give the default value to the attribute, guys, we are going for the attribute name like value attribute. What attribute name? Value. What the purpose of this value attribute means? We will get a default value. Can you please check the product ID attribute once? The product ID is coming is default value. Right? Can you please the default value? 1001. A 1001 I given like that is a by default coming, right? Yes, product ID is what by default coming. By default coming that is like 1001. How to get the default value is using what attribute here? Value attribute. That's a default one. But see guys, when we got the default value, I'm trying to change that number. I think it was changed, right? But you want to change it, you don't want to change that value. You don't want to change that value means you do one thing. You require that attribute like disabled attribute. What attribute am I? Disabled. So disabled, just I taken attribute is like disabled. Now you see guys, now product ID is what mode now? Disabled. Can you change this product ID? No. So to get the default value, what attribute here? Value attribute. To disable the data, what attribute here? Disabled attribute. What attribute here? Disabled, right? Exactly. Good. Guys, let me go for the product, the quantity. Product what? Quantity. Yeah, this is the product quantity. See the product quantity, guys. We have the product quantity like this. Product quantity definitely what data guys here? Number data. See guys, we have I enter the two number quantity. Just you can give for the up arrow. Then what happened here? Up arrow means what? Increasing, right? That is called stepping. That is what? Stepping, right? Stepping like increasing the data 7 or 8 or 9. By default increasing how much? By default increasing how much? 1. By default decrement is also 1. By default increasing and decreasing quantity is what? 1, right? Good. But my requirement is when you increase the data, like stepping should be like 2. It means when you increase by default it becomes what? 2, right? Otherwise you can make the 5. That is called what attribute? Step attribute. Step attribute, if you make like that, then you can come to the quantity. In quantity, I will place the 10. I will place what? 10. And you increase the data, guys. You click on what? Up arrow. Now see, guys, now it become how much here? 1 or 15 now? 15, right? This is 20, 25, 30, 35, like that. That is called what attribute, guys? Step attribute. What attribute? Yeah, step attribute, right? Exactly. Yeah, that is a step attribute. See guys, but websites minimum you should order the 10 products, right? Some websites minimum 10 should be required. Otherwise minimum like 2 should be required. Maximum how many items should be allowed? 10 items should be allowed. That's what guys you can go for the min and max attribute. Minimum should be at least 10 products required. So minimum is how much more? 10. So minimum is like 10 is required. Minimum is how much guys? Yeah, 10, right? Minimum is 10 is required and max is what you can order only max is what? 25 products. Max how many products? 25 products, right? Exactly. Now you do one thing guys, let me go for the quantity. So minimum how much you given here? Wait, minimum how much? 10, right? Minimum 10 will be given, but here I enter the 5 only. Listen. I enter the 5, click on whatever, save product. Now you see guys, value must be greater than equal to minimum how much here? 10. The minimum how much? 10, right? Assume that I given the 30, then you see, value must be less than or equal to what? 25. That is called min and max attribute. See guys, previously written the min and min length and what? For the see min length and max length for what purpose? It's like character purpose. But now min and max is what purpose? Number data purpose. What purpose? Number data, right? That is called min, max, step, and next one is what? Value attribute. The purpose of value attribute? What the purpose of value attribute? Default value, right? Default value purpose value attribute. Disable means what? We cannot change that value, right? We can change it, we cannot change it. We cannot change the value. That's it, yes. Next one is like product made in. So made in name, let me get the default value. How to get the default value? Just you can go for what attribute? Value attribute. Value attribute you can take the the value attribute. You can take the value attribute. Value attribute equal to just you can made in what? India. Made in what amount? India, right? Exactly. Yeah, that is called made in India. Just we have the made in by default you're getting what? India, right? Exactly. Yeah, this is the countries by default you want to make it. You don't want to disturb that value. You need to fix that value. Tell me guys how to fix that value. You cannot allow the modification, right? We cannot allow the modification means disable, right? Yeah. Instead of disable, guys, let me write the message like read only. What message? Yeah, read only. Because even read only also you cannot modify. You cannot what? Modify the data. Just you can check the data once. Yeah, you can check the data, guys. Can you modify what data bit is here? Read only. Fine. Yeah, that is called read only. Because you can please try to change the value. Can you change it? Cannot change it. You cannot change the value. This is like read only. See, read only, disable both are same, but read only means what it's showing like normal, what we can say, without disable mode. Right? See, guys, disable mode means you'll get some hash color. What color? This is called disable mode. Disable mode also we cannot change, but it is showing some hash color. Read only also we cannot change, but it is showing the normal way. Showing what way on normal way. Okay, that is called attributes, guys. This is called disable, and see, this is a disable we cannot change. Read only also we cannot change. But disable means what is showing some hash color. Read only means what showing like normal field we enter. What field? Normal field. Okay, that's it, guys. Just you can take the product brand also. Let me take the brand name is a Tata by default. Take the brand is like tell me guys what the attribute you can take value attribute value equal to what amount Tata. See, but I didn't make the read only disabled. What does it mean? We can change. See, by default you'll get what attribute here Tata. If you want, you can keep the Tata. Otherwise, you can make it like something like Ratan Tata, something like that. We can change the name also, right? We can change one name also. Like that, we can make the data, guys. So here we take in the product ID is what attribute here? Disable attribute and value attribute. And this one is you take it what one brand. Brand is like default value is what Tata, but we can change whatever it may be. And product brand also made in also India that you are making as what read only. Can we change it? We cannot change it. We cannot change, right? Exactly. Guys, that is the product form, guys. Hey, what are the extra attributes we discussed in this example? Step attribute, min attribute, max attribute, value attribute. See, these all attributes contains the attribute name and value, right? This is what attribute name, and this is called what attribute value. Attribute name and attribute value. Attribute name and attribute value. Attribute name and what attribute value. But some of the attributes does not contains the the value. What attributes tell me? Disabled does not contains the value. Uh, read only does not contains the value. And previous example written the required, right? Required. The field is mandatory. No? The field is mandatory means what we written required, right? That is also contains the value, no value. So the attributes without value, what are the attributes we have? What are the attributes without value? Disabled, no value is there. Read only, no value is there. Required also, no value is there. Cut it up. That's it. Yeah, you write this form, guys. The product ID, product name, product price. Product ID is by default 1001. What attribute you have to make? Value attribute. Hey, you are writing the code like this only, right? Type equal number, ID, name, step, min, max, placeholder. Hmm? You take this pick, I'll pick this one. Take that pick, by seeing that pick, you write the exam. Wait, two attributes could I place not place here, just check it. Reference purpose. Remaining attributes you write. Product ID, product quantity. Placeholder value disabled. What is required one? I think brand, country, right? Made in. Made in is you can make it as read only. I hope you are writing the HTML tag onwards, right? HTML, header, body, title, everything. Product ID, number ID, match address, product ID, value disabled. Product name, base model, product price. But here price, setting 5 in max base folder. ये fix है तो कैसे क्या कैसे कैसे तो होता है data value we don't need attributes is in the form is it required you know sometimes exam भी आ गई है तो भाई इसको नहीं क्लास में तो नहीं आपको होमवर्क से ID pricing value disabled to max wait, that's it. You write one more small form, a doctor appointment form. Doctor appointment form. So see the doctor appointment form, you have the table data here. Good. A doctor appointment form. You take in the date, type is what date. Date type is date means you get the date calendar type. You select the calendar, what date we have appointment. So 03/11/2026 like that, you can take the appointment date. So type is what the type you take in here? Date, right? That is called required attribute you take it. ID we know, name you know, placeholder we know, just you can write the date like that. Okay, that is like appointment date. So guys, appointment time you can take. Just you can take the appointment time. Just you can take the appointment time. See guys, input type equal to time you take. Just you can take the appointment time. Just you can have the refresh. Now you can check the data. You get a time only. Appointment date and appointment time. See 12 o'clock and 12:49 a.m. or p.m. you can select and you get the data, right? 12:49 p.m. like this. That is called time. So here type equal what date, here type equal what time. Good. See guys, you want to take the appointment week. What week we have the, just I'm writing all the properties, just you can check it once. So this is appointment what week. Just you can write the appointment week and appointment week and this is a type equal to week you can take. See here type attribute you can check it. Date and ID and name attribute, okay fine. You just to check the what attribute type attribute. Type equal what date, type equal what time, type equal what week. Just you can refresh, now you can check the output. This is called date. This is called time. This is called week. So here we required what week? 12th week I want to take the data. Week 12 to 2016, right? Exactly. Yes, next one is like, appointment month also you can take, no problem. Just you can have the input type equal to what? Yeah. So here we have the data, one second. So we written the date, time. Yeah, you can take the month also. What month you are going to take the appointment? Just we can take the here we have the month. Just we have the month like this, ID and this one appointment. Type is what a month? Month. Type is month. Just you can take what month like this. Just you can come to the browser, click on what refresh. Once if we click on the refresh, now you can check the data. Guys, we got the appointment what month. So guys, if you select, you will get the what month you are going to select. You can see, right? Date means what you're getting the date selection here. Time means what you'll get the time selection. So and here we have the week means what only we have the week selection. What week you are going to do. So this is month means what we have only month selection, right? Just you can go for the month like this. So date, time, week, month, like that. What property you want in your application, you can take that property, guys. Good. So the next one is like date and time local. So I want like both date and time, guys. Just you can write the date hyphen date time. Tell me guys, date and what? Time local. To write the date, time, local date and time. Just you have the local date and time. Just you have the local date and time. Appointment like date and time also. Date and time you can write. Now you can come to the file, click on what? Refresh. Now see guys, this is called what? Date. This is called what? Time. This is called what? Week. This is called what? Month. This is called what? Date and time. No, I think we are wrong. Just let me check the data here once. See guys, this is called date, time, date and time local actually. So this is called the type is what? Date and time, date, time hyphen what? Local. Then you can come to the file, click on the file, click on the refresh. Now you see guys, now you got the data is what? You get the date selected as well as what? Time also selected, right? Date and what? Time, right? Exactly. So that is called date and time, guys. Date is selected, time is selected. So how many attributes we discussed? Type equal to date, type equal to time, type equal to week, type equal to month, type equal to date, time, local. Date and what? Time, local, right? Exactly. You create one button like appointment button. Just you can write the button opening and what button closing. Just you can what book appointment something like that. Just you can write the book appointment, right? Exactly. BUTT4N button something like that. Click on the refresh. We got the book appointment button, right? So, no, this is what there is data. This is called date. This is called what? Time. This is called what? Week, month, date, time, local. What attribute name? Date, time, local. This is called date, time, local, right? Good. Take that form process in.